we saw major ballistic missile strikes and drone strikes on Jazan, Saudi Arabia. Jazan, Saudi Arabia is the host city to a Saudi Aramco oil refinery. Not just any Saudi Aramco oil refinery, it is the 5th largest oil refinery in the entire nation of Saudi Arabia. This one oil refinery puts out 400,000 barrels of oil per day. Think about that for a second. The entire nation of Venezuela, which holds the most proven crude out of any nation in the world, puts out 1 million barrels of oil per day. This one oil refinery puts out 400,000 barrels of oil per day, and Yemen was just like, oh, you don't want to end the siege? Oh, you're going to try to continue to storm our blockade? Oh, you're going to bomb Hodeidah now because... Okay. There goes Saudi Aramco's facilities up in flames. Okay, you guys remember that during the funeral of Sayyid Ali Khamenei, Iran, via Mahan Airlines, broke the siege on Sana'a International Airport by flying a civilian jet to Sana'a, the capital of Yemen, picking up a huge delegation of Yemeni officials and journalists and I think maybe even some military people. I don't know about that. Definitely a lot of officials, though, and bringing them to Tehran for the funeral. On the way back home, while the flight was airborne, Saudi Arabia decided that they did not like the fact that Iran had broken this siege. So, not too long before the Iranian flight from Mahan Airlines landed in Sana'a, Saudi Arabia decided to bomb the Sana'a International Airport. Crazy. I know. Yemen, they went on to fly to Hodeidah. They landed there. Everyone was fine. They got off the flight. And I'll be 100% honest with you, and I'll say this because Max Blumenthal told this story first, so I guess it's okay for me to say. But when I was in Tehran for the funeral, I had a friend who was actually, the main person that I went to Yemen with. And he called me, we connected, and anyway, so I got to see a lot of people that I knew from Yemen. I saw Dr. Daif El-Shami. He was the former Minister of Information, and he's one of the literal founding members of Ansar Allah. He fought in the first battle in Sadr. He's on the Supreme Islamic Council still of Ansar Allah. I saw a lot of people. Mohammed al-Baqaidi was there as well, senior official and spokesperson for Ansar Allah. And I was told this story while I was there about how before the Irani jet carrying the Yemeni delegation left from Sana'a to go to Tehran, essentially what happened was they got on the plane and they saw some activity in the air, and they all kind of realized that this could be their last flight. So they got off the plane. Everyone called their families and said, this could be the last time I speak to you. But, this is for the revolution. This is for the country. This is for what we're all living and dying and breathing for. This is what we've fought for years. This is to break the siege. This is for Sayyid Ali Khamenei. And each and every person out of the hundreds that were on that flight got back on the plane and flew to Tehran, knowing full and well that they may just, in fact, be shot out of the sky. Could you imagine if the U.S. Congress was presented with that same sort of fate? The decision as to whether or not they get on a plane to go pay their respects for a man that they truly love. How many of those U.S. Congress people do you think would get back on the plane, knowing that they may be shot out of the sky, knowing that they very well could be shot out of the sky? I'm guessing that 99% of them would not get on the plane. Anyways, and when they were coming back home, they literally had drones flying around their plane. They were threatening to blow up the plane. So that was a real risk. But the Yemenis are fearless. Actually fearless. They don't care. The only thing they care about is God. And you know what's incredible is why would you test? Why would you provoke a people like that When you are Saudi Arabia, and you know, what is Saudi Arabia but the Labubu Empire? What is Saudi Arabia but, you know, the number one trade partner of Dubai chocolate? What is Saudi Arabia but the OnlyFans escort empire? What is Saudi Arabia? Really, what is it? I don't know. Those all seem like appropriate descriptions of what the kingdom of Saudi Arabia truly is. So why on earth, if that's you, are you going to challenge the people that fear no one but God and are willing to get on that plane? Because I know for a fact that Mohammed bin Salman ain't getting on that plane. I know for a fact that Saudi Arabian prince who overdosed on cocaine and prescription drugs and alcohol this week at a party wherever in Vegas or something, I know he isn't getting on that plane. I know that all those guys that have those Dubai OnlyFans parties, these Saudi princes that fly to Dubai and they have them in Riyadh and Jeddah, wherever they're not getting on the plane. They're not. Why provoke people as disciplined and as courageous as Yemen? I don't know, but that's what Saudi Arabia decided to do, because after Yemen's Ansar Allah landed in Hodeidah, Saudi Arabia decided, okay, well, we're going to send some bombs towards the Saudi government. They don't actually hit anything. They just, for fun, as a means of like some symbolic protest to the Yemeni plane landing in Hodeidah, they launched some bombs across the border. You can literally see Saudi Arabia from Saudi. They launched some missiles at Saudi. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Just accept the L in the siege and we're good. You know, that's all you had to do. But no, they launched some missiles at Hodeidah. So then Yemen said, okay, Mohammed bin Salman, Saudi Arabia, either in the siege on Sana'a International Airport, or else we're going to shut down the Red Sea. We're going to shut down Bab al-Mandeb Strait to all Saudi shipping. This is basically what that would look like. They said, okay, we're going to do that. You guys don't want to end the siege? You don't want to do that? You don't want to put out a statement saying you're going to end the siege on Yemen? You're going to allow flights to come and go to Sana'a? Okay, we're going to shut down the Red Sea. And that's exactly what Yemen did. In fact, we had this audio recording come out from Ansar Allah just 24 hours after, you know, that this was being discussed, and then it was announced.
Calling you on channel 16. According to the decision of Yemeni Armed Forces in the date of July 2026, including prevent navigation to Saudi ships because of the constant siege to Yemeni nation. So we warn all ships belonging to Saudi enemy to proceed via the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. In case of non-compliance of Yemeni Armed Forces decision, those ships will be in our target.
Your ships will be in our targets. Yemeni Armed Forces overheard on VHF radio to a Saudi vessel in the Red Sea. This was a couple days later. Brothers, turn around or face God. Ominous threat. Even more so when you realize who it's coming from. Anyways, a convoy of 10 Saudi Arabian vessels decided that, well, if there's 10 of us, surely they won't stop all of us, right? So they decided that they were going to try and run the blockade. And we got a UK MTO warning. And the running of the blockade failed. That didn't work out so well. Yemen's Ansar Allah announced that they targeted 2 Saudi oil tankers in Celia and Layla with ballistic missiles and drones. In total, they forced more than 10 Saudi oil tankers to turn back around, head back to port since the naval blockade began. Yeah, that didn't go too well. So after this happened, over 10 ships were forced to turn around, could not access the Bab el-Mandeb. You know who could actually access the Bab el-Mandeb Strait in the Red Sea, by the way? You know who could access it? China. China could access it. Yemen was like, hey, Chinese, we got no beef with you. You can access it all you want. Saudi Arabia, Israel, United States, no. But China, you can access it. So anyways, after this, over 10 ships were forced to return to port by Yemen's Ansar Allah. Saudi Arabia got another great idea. Just bomb Hodeidah. Because, you know, that worked so well when the United States bombed Hodeidah for like months on end. That worked so well, right? The United States dropped tons of bombs on Hodeidah, on Sana'a, on Sada. And what persisted that entire time? The blockade. The blockade persisted the entire time, despite however many bombs they dropped on Hodeidah. The blockade persisted. Yemen was not thwarted. Okay? And now Saudi Arabia thinks that like dropping a few bombs on Hodeidah is going to change something. Newsflash, it didn't change anything. And in fact, it made it much worse for Saudi Arabia. In fact, within just a couple hours, we saw major ballistic missile strikes and drone strikes on Jazan, Saudi Arabia. Jazan, Saudi Arabia is the host city to a Saudi Aramco oil refinery. Not just any Saudi Aramco oil refinery. It is the 5th largest oil refinery in the entire nation of Saudi Arabia. This one oil refinery puts out 400,000 barrels of oil per day. Think about that for a second. The entire nation of Venezuela, which holds the most proven crude out of any nation in the world, puts out 1 million barrels of oil per day. This one oil refinery puts out 400,000 barrels of oil per day. And Yemen was just like, oh, you don't want to end the siege? Oh, you're going to try to continue to storm our blockade? Oh, you're going to bomb Hodeidah now because... Okay. There goes Saudi Aramco's facilities up in flames. Just looks like a beaming flash of light in the distance. This, by the way, burned all night and even into the morning hours. We have satellite image to confirm. We have NASA fire maps to confirm. It's been geolocated. These are impacts at the Saudi Aramco facilities in Jazan, Saudi Arabia. Also, on this night, Yanbu was targeted. Yanbu, Saudi Arabia, which is the location in which Saudi Arabia's east-to-west pipeline meets the Red Sea. That was targeted very hard, though I don't have videos from there. Also, the King Khalid Air Base in Saudi Arabia was targeted by Yemen. We do have videos from there, but they're like from the distance, and they're not that great of videos, so there's no reason for me to show them to you. I made a TikTok about it if you want to see. But, yeah. This was Saudi Aramco. Goodbye. Jazan, Saudi Aramco oil refinery. That didn't... So they hit the fuel tankers, oil fuel tankers, and as you can see, it literally burned until the next day. Burned until the next day. So, hey, Saudi Arabia, you want to think about ending the siege on Yemen again? You want to think twice about trying to storm their blockade again? You want to think 3 times about bombing these symbolic strikes? Dumbest thing I could have ever imagined. These symbolic strikes on Hodeidah or Sada again? Because the math ain't mathin'. If Yemen gives you just a taste, they gave you just a taste, and it results in the 5th largest oil refinery in your nation getting blown to smithereens, and all you have at your defenses are a few Greek-supplied air defense missiles, which all failed, by the way. What do you think this will look like if it spirals into total war? If this spirals into total war, there's no telling where it could all head. Before you leave, I want to say thank you for the support, because after 2 years of being banned, we are finally back home on YouTube. So be sure to subscribe to our channel and also join as a member on our channel using the link at the top of the description. I rely on the generous support of viewers like yourself to get the truth out to as many people as possible. You can also support the show on Locals or Give Sin Go. The mainstream media and the powers that be are never going to stop attacking us for bringing the truth to as many people as we do. Thank you so much for your support.